You're listening to the Culips English Podcast. To download the study guide for this episode, which includes the transcript, detailed vocabulary explanations, real-world examples, and a quiz, visit our website, culips.com. Culips.com. Hey there, everybody. My name is Andrew, and you are listening to Real Talk by Culips. Hey everyone, it's Andrew here, and I'm all by myself today. It's just me. In today's episode of Real Talk, we're going to take a look at how to make a telephone call to a store to ask about a product. And you're going to get the opportunity to listen to a real call that I made when I called an electronics store to ask about the Apple AirPods. Okay, I actually made this call a while ago, several months ago, when the AirPods first came out and they were in really high demand and sold out everywhere. So I called around to several different stores to see if they were in stock anywhere. And in the end, I couldn't find them. So I don't have any Apple AirPods. So the plan for today is to take a listen to this telephone call and then break it down, take a closer look at the expressions and the language that was used by me and also the store employee during the call. Of course, I have removed all of the identifying information from the call. So the store's name and location and the employee's name, I have removed this all from the audio so that I can protect their privacy. But otherwise, it's a completely unedited call. So let's take a listen to that call, but just before we do that, I want to remind you that we have a study guide available for this episode on our website, culips.com. So by visiting culips.com, you can download the study guide, and it is chock full of awesome things. You get a transcript, you get detailed explanations of the key vocabulary that we use in this episode, and you will get other bonus things like a quiz and prompts that you can use for writing or speaking practice. The study guide is great. I highly recommend it, and if you would like to download it, simply visit our website, culips.com. All right, so let's get our hands dirty a little bit. Let's get into it. First, we'll listen to the call that I made to a local electronics store, and then we'll break it down bit by bit and take a look at what happened during that call. So here we go, the call in its entirety.
How can I help you?
Hi, I was wondering if you had the Apple AirPods in stock right now.
No, we don't have any AirPods. We are all out.
Do you know when they'll be in?
Okay, I don't think so, but I'll double check. Give me a second.
Sure.
It doesn't say when it will come, but I'm guessing it will not come for next 3 weeks for sure. The ones I can see from my computer, it will not come for next 3 weeks for sure.
Okay, so a long time.
Yeah, a long time, yeah. Sorry about that.
No problem. Thanks very much.
Yeah, no worries. Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, so we just heard my call with the employee from a local electronics shop where I asked him about the availability of Apple's AirPod wireless earbuds, earphones. And as you heard in the call, they were out of stock at the store and they wouldn't be getting any more AirPods in for a while, for at least 3 weeks, according to the employee's best guess. So now let's go through that telephone call one more time and take a listen to it piece by piece to hear what I said and what the employee said as well, and what kind of expressions we can use when we're talking on the phone to ask about a product. Now, the first thing you may have noticed is the employee isn't a native English speaker. I'm guessing from his accent that he's probably from somewhere in South Asia, but I can't be sure. And this actually brings up a really good point right from the very start here. And that point is that you're never going to be guaranteed to speak with a native speaker on the phone. Life in English-speaking countries is very multicultural. We have lots of immigrants. We have people from all over the world. And this means we have people that speak tons of different varieties of English. And that's just a fact of life. And here we heard a non-native English speaker who I have to say did a great job on this call. He did a fantastic job. His English is very good. Okay, so let's listen again to the opening part of that phone call right now.
How can I help you?
Hi, I was wondering if you had the Apple AirPods in stock right now.
How can I help you?
Hi, I was wondering if you had the Apple AirPods in stock right now.
In that clip, we heard the store employee answer the phone and say, "Hi, how can I help you?" And right off the bat, right from the start, I launched into my question. I was wondering if you had the Apple AirPods in stock. I was wondering if you had the Apple AirPods in stock. And this is a great question structure to memorize. You can use it in all sorts of different situations. I was wondering if you blah, blah, blah. For example, I was wondering if you had a table for 2 available tonight. I'd like to make a reservation at your restaurant. I was wondering if you had a table for 2 available tonight. I'd like to make a reservation at your restaurant. Or another example, I was wondering if you had any promotions going on right now. I was wondering if you had any promotions going on right now. You know, like 2-for-1 pepperoni pizza or something. So anytime that you are making an inquiry about a product or about a service, you can use this question structure. I was wondering if you blah, blah, blah. Of course, the you here doesn't necessarily mean the person you're talking to on the phone. It means the store or the restaurant or the place that you are calling. That is what the you is referring to. Moving right along, let's listen to the next section of that phone call.
No, we don't have any AirPods. We are all out.
Do you know when they'll be in?
No, we don't have any AirPods. We are all out.
Do you know when they'll be in?
All right, there's 2 things there that I should comment on. The first one is the expression, we're all out. We're all out. All out means 0 in stock. So they have 0 pairs of AirPods in the electronic store. They're all out. So when I heard this, I asked the employee, do you know when they'll be in? Do you know when they'll be in? And this question is simply asking, do you know when a new shipment of the AirPods will arrive in the store? Okay. There are several ways that we could phrase this kind of question. Do you know when they'll be in? Or when will you be getting some in stock? When's the next shipment due to arrive? When will they be back in stock? All of these questions are totally acceptable to ask in this kind of situation. Alrighty then, let's keep moving forward and listen to the next part of the conversation.
Okay, I don't think so, but I'll double check. Give me a second.
Sure.
Okay, I don't think so, but I'll double check. Give me a second.
Sure.
There's not a ton of interesting things to note from that clip, but there's two things that I would like to touch upon. The first is double check. Okay, the employee says, let me double check. I'm going to double check. I got to double check. Okay, and double check just means confirm. Okay, so when he says that, you can hear him typing in the background. He is confirming when the next shipment of the Apple AirPods will arrive in the electronics store. Double check, double check. This is a very, very, very common expression in English. We use it all the time. And the second interesting expression here is give me a second. Give me a second. Just give me a second. Okay? Give me a second means please wait a moment. Sometimes we even say give me a sec or give me a minute. So give me a second, give me a sec, give me a minute, please wait. They all mean the same thing, and they're all friendly and casual as well as polite expressions. Let's move on to the next section of the conversation.
It doesn't say when it will come, but I'm guessing it will not come for next 3 weeks for sure. The ones I can see from my computer, it will not come for next 3 weeks for sure.
Okay, so a long time.
Yeah, long time. Yeah, sorry about that.
No problem. Thanks very much.
Yeah, no worries. Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye. It doesn't say when it will come, but I'm guessing it will not come for next 3 weeks for sure. The ones I can see from my computer, it will not come for next 3 weeks for sure.
Okay, so a long time.
Yeah, long time. Yeah, sorry about that.
No problem. Thanks very much.
Yeah, no worries. Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.
So in that final part of the conversation with the store employee, he just was again confirming, checking on the computer, and letting me know that it's going to be a little while, at least 3 weeks by his estimation, before the AirPods will be arriving in the store. A couple of quick notes here. Because he is talking about headphones or earbuds, right? We have two ears, so we need two buds. And when we're talking about something that is plural, we should use the pronoun they instead of it. So he says, I don't know when it will arrive, but if it was me speaking, I would probably say, I don't know when they will arrive in stock. One last corrective note. He says for next 3 weeks. For next 3 weeks, they won't be in stock. And here when we're talking about a specific period of time, we need to use a determiner, the. Okay, so for the next 3 weeks, they won't be in stock. For the next 3 weeks. And finally, when the call was wrapping up, I thanked him for his time, and he replied in a really great way. I love the expression that he used. He said, no worries, no worries. Okay. It's very casual, very friendly, and I use it all the time. So you may have heard no problem used often by native speakers when we say, it's okay, you don't have to thank me. But another alternative that is very frequently used also is no worries, no worries. For example, hey man, thank you for helping me with my homework. Hey, no worries. Or hey, thanks for lunch. It was delicious. No worries. We can use it like that. It's just that simple. Well, everyone, that brings us to the end of today's episode. I certainly hope that you learned a lot. If you would like to ask us a question or get in contact with us, just send us an email. Our email address is contact@culips.com. We're also all over the internet, on Instagram, on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter. So if you would like to find us on these social networking websites, just Google or search for Culips English Podcasts, and you can't miss us. Don't forget about the study guide that is available for this episode. And actually, we make study guides for all our episodes. If you visit culips.com, you can sign up, become a Culips member, and access the study guides for our entire episode library. It's an affordable and fun way to upgrade your English skills. So definitely check out all the information on culips.com about becoming a Culips member and studying with our study guides. That is it for me for now. I will be back soon, hopefully not alone next time, with another episode of the Culips English Podcast. Talk to you then. Bye.
Do you like listening to Culips? If so, please show your support by leaving Culips a 5-star rating and a review on iTunes or Stitcher. This helps new listeners find the show. So don't delay. Rate and review today.